Hey guys, Architect Michael Huber. I hope everyone is well and safe. When COVID first hit, I think I'd mentioned in some videos back then that the commercial work just seemed to stop. Residential really picked up and we are fortunate to be very busy, but we're starting to see some commercial projects move forward a little bit here. We've got some park projects going, as well as a smaller office building. And so I just wanted to go through that one right now where we currently are at. And so let's take a look at the site. You know, all projects begin with the site, and this is a 3D view of it, basically right here. So it's pretty flat. We do have areas that we can drain to the back of the property. The main road is right here. And so we're looking at putting a building here with some potential other expansion on the back side of the property in time. So what we needed to do was understand, obviously, what the program is, what spaces they need, and try to fit it together in a logical way, functionally, aesthetically, etc. So did a couple preliminary plan diagrams. And so this one, plan A, you can see, you know, the size of the warehouse they need. I mean, it is bigger than the office space itself. In terms of the office space, obviously an entry reception area, a conference room, which we thought, you know, could be sort of the jewel of the office building, kind of be that more prominent feature that people would see as they drive by. 4 to 5 offices, files, storage, and then restrooms, mechanical. So here we're rimming the perimeter with the offices to get natural light, and then tucking obviously mechanical and the restrooms more internally where we don't need that light. Another layout, as we looked at study A, we're like, man, that is a huge presence that warehouse has. Is there any way we can start to wrap this office in front of that to help break it up? So that was a study here, moving the reception marketing area around the corner. You know, the entry conference area is still more prominent, the offices with natural light, etc. And then we thought, well, what if we actually turn the warehouse on the end? Remember, the road, I should say, is down here, the main access point. So if we use the short end of the warehouse, that would minimize, you know, the view from the front. But as people are driving in this direction, you know, obviously this facade is still dominant. But we wanted to try it. So we have the warehouse stacked here and the office area stacked here, still on the corner with the conference to, again, have that more of a prominent. And then, you know, in addition to this, we, you know, do preliminary massings on that 3D site to kind of get a feel of what, you know, the heights and scale might be in relation to the site and adjacent buildings, etc. All right, so then we went through a number of iterations and came up with 2 directions that we liked, or slight variations of generally the same theme here. So this is study D1, where, you know, we got further definition of the warehouse space. So garage area, there'll be a wash bay in here, and then also a shop space. So we could separate that where we'd only heat the shop and not the garage space. Here we've got the conference area being, you know, this sort of almost freestanding element on the corner, and you can see we've brought the office space in front of this warehouse building, again, to help shield it from the main road out in this area. But so we have a lobby, a little coffee bar, some display space, the reception, the marketing copy area, restrooms adjacent to a connection into the shop area, the offices, and then storage. They have a lot of sort of flat file document storage they want to have on site. So that was D1, and we actually ended up on DB. I don't know why it's not D2 or D3, but this is where we currently are at. So you can see the garage and shop, and the basic layout stays fairly similar, but we did bring the offices adjacent to the conference. So parking would be out in this area, lobby, reception, copier, as before, conference room. Then these two offices, they relate and they work together a lot on the marketing, etc. So we have a shared counter between the two offices where they can lay out materials, etc. Restrooms, connection to the shop stays the same. A couple other offices, storage, probably a little patio out here with the barbecue, etc. So that's at least the plan layout that we're currently looking at. If we look at some form studies, we want to try to keep the scale of this building down because we need a certain amount of span, and that means a certain amount of roof. And so we are looking at shed and flat roof forms here. And there's also, this is a business park, so there are restrictions in terms of height, material, all that kind of thing. So here is one study. The form, we've got at the warehouse space a shed roof. At the office space, we've got shed roof and flat roof, but we're starting to break it up a little bit. And thinking about that conference space, maybe that could be a different material. Here you can see we've got some panel, different colors in front of these two offices. We looked at maybe having some vertical boards that we could spin. This does face west, by the way, so could get a little hot in the evening, but could help animate the facade, but also shade those windows. You can see we're starting to play with breaking the height down as well. The entry, covered entry, reception, marketing, entrance to the shop area itself, some outdoor covered storage on the back of the warehouse within some higher clear story windows to bring light into the warehouse. So this was one idea, and we're right now leaning more towards this, where you can see the form is basically the same. We're breaking up the upper level of the roof form with maybe a panel system, horizontal lap siding below. We got rid of that kind of louvered sunscreen, bringing this element over to help shade this window a bit, but trying to simplify it somewhat, but then making the conference area really pop. And so we're playing with here having perforated metal or welded wire fabric kind of float free of the facade. That could be this pop of color, cut out the actual street number in the welded wire fabric. Still have this covered entry, but really neutralize the palette except for at that conference space to have that pop. Then we needed some screened areas for dumpsters, and then a larger area of storage, half covered, half not. And then of course this patio area for barbecues, etc. So I wanted to give you just a quick update on one of the commercial projects because I know we've been throwing a lot of residential projects at you lately. And so I'll keep you posted on this one. It's out for preliminary pricing, and as you probably know, pricing is going bonkers now. So this may actually be on hold or sit for a little bit until things start to stabilize. But again, stay well, stay healthy, and I appreciate you taking time to watch my little videos, and we will talk soon.